Hey, and welcome. We have lasers and lace on this beautiful day.
Hello, hello.
You are gonna have an amazing show today, guys. We have, as always, the amazing Mal. We have fantastic Delana, and joining us today, we have the mysterious, the epic CCP Aurora.
Thanks for having me.
Woohoo!
Hello! Alright, welcome. Let's get to it.
Let's party.
Okay.
Welcome to Lasers and Lace. You've got Delana and Ivy and Mal and sometimes Rain. Subscribe for free on Twitch TV with Prime Gaming. Lasers and Lace.
I
I
never
freaking
get
love that
fucking.
intro.
I
Beautiful.
never
I
get
love it.
tired of it. Thank you very much
No,
again, Redline.
we love it. And Redline said he was going to give us a new one, so we're super excited to see what he's going to come up with our new intro slash exit that he's doing for us. Oh, it's the little Ivy avatars in the comments. Oh, they make me so happy when I see them all the time. There's still an echo. We have an echo, Mal. Fix the echo. Oh, well, somebody is still saying there's you know.
No, it's because I left it still. So since I have the stream running on Chrome here and everything, I left it a tiny bit open and I forgot to mute it. So that's why, because it was coming back in my game audio and everything. And then since I have 3 audio channels on slobs, just blah blah blah. Don't worry, it's fixed now. We all Gucci.
We're good. We're good. So again,
Audio
we're,
is hard.
we're new to this. We
Audio is so hard. I
we
fight with
haven't
audio almost every day.
we haven't been doing this for a while. Not at all. Not at all. We'll get it worked out eventually. Yeah, Mal, fix your shit. Fix your shit.
Fight me at the sun.
Oh, I will. You know I will. Okay, so today on Lasers and Links, we brought CCP Aurora. So we got super lucky, and I have no clue how we managed to pull this out of our ass. But we managed to get Convict, and now we've got Aurora, and I'm hoping to kind of keep the hype train going, Aurora. So get your friends in the office to reach out to me, please. But, people are interested in the CCPers, and given the fact that some of you guys were players originally, you were one of us. One of us.
Still am.
So we wanna know about you. So let's go back to the beginning, back to the start. So when did you start Eve?
So I started Eve back in 2005. I had a very auspicious start when I saw a banner ad in my Yahoo inbox,
A
and I was
banner
like,
ad.
yeah.
Yahoo.
So I'm pretty sure that nobody actually believed that those actually worked. And this is just how long ago we're talking because it was an old Yahoo inbox. But it was a banner ad before ad blockers were a thing on the side of Yahoo, and so I was like, I'm bored. I clicked on it, and here I am, 15 years later. Yeah, it was just kind of really pretty. I liked flying around, you know, the idea of like this giant space universe that I could be part of was just super attractive to me for some reason. And I started making friends and never
I
really never really
I you
escaped.
guys are all like, I've been playing since the beginning, and I'm like, I'm an Eve baby compared to all of you. I'm so young. I'm so young.
How long have you
But
been playing, Ivy?
since 2016 ish,
Yeah, same
Wow,
as
I've
me.
been playing longer than both of you.
I'm an Eve baby.
It's okay.
In
We still love
fairness,
you.
I was really bad. I didn't really
You're really
fully had
bad.
I was really bad up until probably 2015 when I actually decided to start over.
So
So
what did you do for those 10 years?
I had this long career in Eve. I was like I was actually in an Icelandic corp for a while, and we lived out in drone lands. And we would kill drones, and then we would use the parts to build new ships. So it was like an industrial thing.
Hype
Uh,
train.
and it was just like 10 of us, uh, just kind of doing her own little thing. And it wasn't until we got a region was under pressure or something, we wound up joining Razor Alliance, who allied with Goonswarm
Ew.
during the Fountain War against Test in 2013 or something like that. And that was actually where I got my first taste of like big Eve combat and stuff.
Pew,
It was where I
pew.
led my first fleet.
Really?
Yep. It was during that. The first fleet I ever led was a fleet of mostly Goonswarm people. And I took out a fleet of blackbirds. Enemy showed up. They hopped through a gate. I totally froze up, said nothing. We all died, and that was it. Wasn't exactly an amazing start, but
My very first fleet that I led, I got super excited. I was like, guys, Christmas Rome! And my fleet lasted all of 5 minutes because we fell for a bait keep star, and
Oof.
we got
that's rough.
dropped on in Losec, and I kid you not, the fleet was all 5 minutes. It was so bad, so bad. I don't do that no more. I'll do this where I can talk and be fabulous.
Yeah, I've also done
once-
just like one fleet, and I was like, I'm not gonna do that again.
I used to do incursions.
got a
I used
taste
to
for
be I used to be incursion FC with like one of the groups. Like I was one of the little trainee peoples and taking the fleets out and doing incursions all day.
Fun.
They were.
I think
I
Fun.
They're broken now. I don't like them.
Oh, they're
they're
hella
broken?
broken, but like they're still fun. For a good chunk, I was doing like high sec incursions for a good 3 to 6 months. Like that was my main thing and everything. And then friends were like, "Hey, come to Losec," and then I joined Losec, and I'm like, "Oh God, this is disgusting." And then I joined Wormholes. Posse's
went for-
recruiting,
Skipped
by the way.
nullsec entirely.
Oh fuck yeah!
Bosses are recruiting.
I think
Silver-
I fought you guys recently, actually.
Listen,
Silver Spread Art says
Aurora,
my first fleet was in PH on my birthday, like a month after starting the game. Razor Alliance, was your in-game name Aurora? CCP Aurora?
No, I'm gonna keep my old names a little bit private in order to prevent people from totally digging through my.
watch it
my-
be
my history,
McLovin.
I had a few different characters. My first one actually from 2005 was. When I started over a couple years after that, I trashed that one, so that one's not even.
In
It's actually
Doomheim?
really hard to. It's in Doomheim, I think, but there's like no picture or anything because it was the old avatars before the avatar rework, and it never got a new one. So
We need an avatar rework for the characters so we can make them even more cuter.
Well, I just need more accessories, I think.
I think I'm gonna go on this rant again. We need more accessories. We need more cute outfits for the chicks. But going on cute outfits, the Eve store is boxy when all their shirts. There's no cute women apparel, and I want a cute Garista bunnies shirt for like the ladies, or like overheat your rack, and like cute shirts.
that would be an amazing T-shirt.
Right?
That would be
For
fantastic.
chicks.
New
It's
lasers
gotta
and
be a
lace.
woman's
It's
shirt.
guys. It's a lasers and lace exclusive.
V-cut.
Overheat your rack.
Redline, you're listening to this. I know you are. We now have something to go into the New Eden.
I
Post
would totally
store.
have that on a fucking shirt too.
Yep. Overheat your rack.
Yeah, that would be fantastic if it was like a women's fit instead of like wearing these boxy T-shirts that
I
it's like
know, why do we
stretches
boxy?
across the top here, but then the rest of it's all like loose.
No
and you're
shape.
just like, I have no.
Odin is saying maybe you can cosplay something for us next week's show. What are we gonna cosplay as, Odin? What do you want? Like, if you want Pandora Singularity, she gonna talk shit all show. Like, that's what you're gonna get because she's a queen and you're all beneath her.
I wish I was as cool as my in-game character.
That's cool.
Me too.
Anyways, back to Aurora. Back to Aurora. Aurora 101. This isn't about Ivy and overheating your rack. But
Yeah, let's go.
what did you like doing? So 2005 to 2015, you were in this Icelandic corp. What did you do other than like just build ships all for like 10 years and just do cute little things together? Or like what did you like doing? What brought you to keep signing in every day?
I mean, this might this might sound really goofy, and it's something that I don't really even do anymore, but back then, I was mostly just like sitting in a belt mining with people. So we would mine, or I would shoot the rats that came to shoot us when we were mining, and that was it. Like that was most of my gameplay.
You
I
like
didn't
to
even
lick
I didn't even
rocks?
do the industry stuff. I was just giving the minerals to other people who were doing industry.
Oh, that is so painful. So painful.
It was just very relaxing, I guess.
Well, I guess also back then, like what I used to do before all of this like ore reworks and like they destroyed rorquals and mining in general. I used to have 3 monitors, and Netflix would be on one, and then I'd have all my Orca pilots and everything, and rorquals on others, and just mining my little heart content out. But then I decided, industry was fun and building Titans was fun, and I didn't like licking rocks anymore. So then I paid other people to lick the rocks for me, so that I could sit in the station all day and press the finish the job complete buttons and make all the toys, because that for me was even funner.
Moving up the pyramid scheme.
Moving on up to today.
Yeah, my early Eve career is not all that particularly interesting. I ran missions. Like these are just like very Care Berry things. Like at least there was a nullsec, I guess, but
Yeah, but
it was just
Care Bears matter too. Care Bear lives matter too. Drone lives matter, people. Remember, drone lives matter.
I still produce a lot of T2 drones. So that is something that I do for a little bit of
Do you have a T2 drone BPO?
Yeah, wait. So like you're just like inflating the market in Jita with T2 drones now, huh?
I think I put 5,000 on the market last week.
Rain, do you produce
It's not
T2
huge.
salvage drones?
Oh yeah, T2 salvage drones.
Oh no, that's actually a good point. I haven't started researching T2 salvage drones.
Aw, thank you, Helios. Can confirm Ivy makes the best Titans. Aw. I may have sold a Titan to Helios. Or 3, or 20. I don't know. We won't know. It's OPSEC. Shh.
Dunk drones only or bust. Listen, I could agree with Skyhawk.
I was so happy when it was actually months prior to the announcement that CCP Rise came to me and he was like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I've been working on this thing. And it was T2 salvage drones, but he's also like, and I thought it would be cool to do this. And he just like showed me the dunk salvage drone. And it was absolutely amazing. It made my day to see that. And I was so excited for so long up until that announcement. It was just really cool to see.
Do you want to know what? There are some things in game, like, the little biography books that you see, like there's the Max Singularity one, there's one with Sword Dragon. I know on one of the ships and Mythos, I am horribly sorry, but I know it says in the item description that this ship was created by, and then it's the player names who helped make it. That's going to be like the highlight of my Eve career, is that if I ever see a little in-game item that says Pandora or Ivy or Eve North, I'm like, that'll be there'll be tears, it'll be op success. That means I have made Eve in my, like, I know it's stupid, a little in-game item, but to me, I've made Eve. Like,
I totally get it. As a matter of fact, I feel like the highlight of my time here at CCP was when I got to write the text for an item that went into game. So one of those little items. Yeah, it was actually as a response to an issue. So we had a problem when the daily login incentives had first rolled out, where when you finished your month and you got the skill points at the end, they weren't delivered to the character properly. You were given a can of the skill points, which couldn't be used. So a whole bunch of people had these sitting around in their hangars that were just kind of useless. And so when they came up with the fix, I said, instead of removing this item and just giving them the SP, give them the SP, but leave the skill canister and change it to this other item type. And I gave them the text for the broken skill canister, which the text reads something along the lines of, this skill canister emits sparks and small puffs of smoke, and it doesn't appear to be safe to use. Further analysis indicates that some enterprising scientist attempted to extract the skills of a Feto. to what end nobody knows. And so I got to design like this little item, and
That's
it's still like
pretty
my pinned
fucking
post on
amazing.
Twitter. It's like highlight of my year. Absolutely, I've made it.
It's like I am somebody. Like hell, shit. Even I'm sorry. There goes my mouth again. The sailor in me is like, let me free. But like even getting on the world tour as Eve North, like Lohires, who's in the comment section, he can confirm there was real life tears. Like I had tears of joy. I was so freaking happy because it's one of those things where like you put your heart and soul into this community and you work so hard. And Delana is rocking my shirt because Delana is freaking awesome. But
Yeah, I
like,
just happened to pick the shirt out today.
but it's the little things. Well, it's a little big thing, but you know what I mean? It could be creating the script for an item in game. It could be being on the world freaking tour. Tears. It's just I can't even.
And I get a message from somebody thinking that I was going to flash everyone on the stream, I guess.
Are you? Are you, Delana?
That will be for a
Boobs.
different stream.
Listen, we don't shame, but there is the Lasers and Lace OnlyFans.
Is there?
Yeah,
Did we make one?
maybe.
Yeah, it has pictures of my feet.
Ooh.
Listen, there's feet, there's mainly feet there.
This is news to me, people. But Mal, we're gonna
Yeah.
talk after.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, we gotta behave, guys. There's CCP on the stream.
Listen, it's
Oh,
Lasers
shit.
and Lace. Hey, listen, look, CCP Aurora, she's laughing, whereas Brisk RuPaul was, like, almost redder than my fucking hair the time
That was funny.
It was
I
red like a
started talking.
tomato. It was
Oh,
great.
oh my god. Listen, it's nipple piercing, guys.
Like we
Nipple
wanted to talk
fucking
about bottle
piercings.
stoppers, like the 60 bottle stoppers. Like they're phenomenal. And poor Brisk. Poor Brisk.
Oh god, it's emote only now for the chat. Here we go.
Poor Aurora's like, what have I volunteered to come on? Like, you've watched our shows before, correct?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I knew what I was getting into when I came here.
Okay,
Here I
good.
am anyway.
All right, okay, perfect.
It's one of those things. Oh, and of course, Delana with the honks. Really?
Yes.
Never
Pass
not
you out.
honk.
Oh my god, you guys are great. I love you guys to pieces. Okay, back to Aurora. So, 2015 to present day, how did you decide to go from player to CCP? Like, did you get involved in any events? Were you organizing anything? Were you helping? Like, why did you want to make that transition? Like, what just clicked? How did this work?
If I want to explain it properly, it's a slightly more detailed story and a lot more interesting, I suppose, than my original introduction. So that everything up to 2015 was it was what I described, not particularly interesting. Around 2015, I decided to make a new character, which is the one that most people know as my player character, and I wanted to just pretend that none of the previous, like, I had no other experience. So I actually joined Brave, pretending to be a brand new character, even though I had run fleets and stuff before. I had some experience doing other stuff. I was basically like a spy, but it was purely so that I could properly learn the game without feeling, I'm like, I should be experienced. I should know this already. Like, it helped me separate myself from that. So I joined Brave. It was right around the time that all that craziness happened in Catch when PL evicted us, and it was a fantastic time. I mean, that probably hooked me more than anything had previously, especially on the drama that can come with Eve. I was just a lurker for a while. I didn't speak out, mostly because speaking up in video games as a woman can be
Bad.
draws a
Yep.
little attention that I didn't really want. So I played with them for quite a while, and Brave sort of not totally fell apart, but it kind of fell apart. And I had found a lot of value in the dojo program, which taught new players. So as that had kind of, a lot of the old guard had left, I still wanted that to continue. And so I took over the dojo. I basically just started doing stuff. And I kind of rebooted that whole program. I was running regular classes every week. And you learn a lot from teaching, I suppose, because you want your classes to be useful. And so I taught classes for years. And I got really into helping new players. And that was super cool. So that was kind of what really pulled me into the community, I suppose. From the in-game classes, it turned into like YouTube videos and that sort of thing. And then because I got really involved in the alliance, I wound up in all the leadership channels, and you just kind of get sucked in. And then from there, I wound up going to events. I went to Vegas. I went to Eve North. I went to a Washington meetup. Just kind of bouncing around to what was possible for me at the time on a limited budget, I suppose. But it was really fun to just start meeting people, and then from there, that was kind of my life for quite a while. Just super involved in Eve, super involved in helping new players, and when I saw the application for the community developer go up, I'm reading Reddit every day and that sort of thing, and I was like, oh, interesting. I just happened to open it, and I was reading through the job description and all of the requirements that they were looking for, just kind of out of curiosity, like what goes into this. And as I'm reading through it, I'm like, check. Like I checked off everything on the list that they were looking for from the work that I was already doing, which I was doing. I was a web developer working closely with marketing at a university prior to joining CCP.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just kind of like, I actually meet the requirements for this, and it would be a really cool thing to do. So I put in an application and got turned down a couple times, but eventually I made it here.
So where were you living before? Like before you went to Iceland?
I was in New York, upstate New York, around a city called Saratoga Springs.
So how did you find moving from like the US to Iceland in terms of like that's a big move.
Honestly, it's been pretty easy, all considered. CCP has a lot of support in terms of helping make that transition easy. It's only some really weird things that kind of catch me every now and then. Like I went up to someone and I asked them in a supermarket, where is the canned soup? Just something really random that I was really used to. Like there is no canned soup. That's not a thing here. So canned soup, deli meats, like little things are like, oh, that's right. I can't really easily do that. There's some markets where you can maybe find stuff, but it's basically a specialty good. And it sounds really silly that that's like the biggest problem, moving to a country and on a different continent where you don't even speak the primary language, but everybody here speaks really good English. Actually, I did find soup. I have a box of soup. It comes in a box. Who would have thought that they would box it?
Manic. Wait, how do you get soup in Iceland? Like that's the pressing question of the hour. And then we're gonna
or
go
you make
quickly-
it.
I know I saw soup there before, but I was like, oh, do you have to just make it all the time? I don't know.
Well, it comes in either a packet, so there's no can. It's not like you can just like take a Campbell's can and reheat it. You can get a packet, and then you have to like mix that with stuff, which is much too like real cooking for my
Manic,
taste.
you have to make it yourself?
Exactly.
Ugh.
I found pre-made soup, but it's also really expensive. It was like 2,000 krona for this box of soup, and it's basically one meal. So
All you need to do, sweetie, is get an Instapot and you
No.
can make all the soup you want.
Now wait, so what if, say, we brought soup over to you? Is that allowed?
Can we care package you Campbell's soup?
Yeah, can we care package you like Tim Hortons chicken noodle soup?
I suppose you could, although you'd probably have to explain to customs why you're importing soup.
Because
So-
your country doesn't allow soup.
Dude,
It's allowed.
The problem's gonna be
It's just really
we're gonna send her the soup, and then she's not gonna have a can opener, and she's gonna have these soups.
Oh yeah,
that
you're
she
gonna have
can't
to send
open.
that
Fair.
too, you know?
I'll gladly send a can opener.
Black market imported soup.
Listen, I think you could 3D print a can opener.
I might.
Well, it had to be sharp enough.
No, you modify it so that you put in the blade right then and there.
Okay.
Haven't you seen those like Pampered Chef kind of weird can opener things? Like they make it so you can't cut yourself.
Rain
right?
has the ultimate big brain right there. 3D print some soup.
You can't 3D print soup.
Yes, you can!
Oh, Aurora, I have to ask because we're on the soup topic. Have you found the little shop on the main street in Iceland? They do bread bowl soup. It is like, oh my god, and I can't remember the name of it, but you go to this place and you don't know what kind of soup you're gonna get, but you get your soup in a bread bowl, and it's phenomenal. It's like, mwah.
I live right across the street from them.
So you know what I'm talking about? What's it
perfect.
called?
Yes, I do. If
It's a
I'm
bread bowl
assuming
place.
it's the same place that you're talking about, it's God, I haven't left the apartment enough. Even though it's literally right out my front door. Brick something.
But it was so good. And it's like they're like, here, have cream of broccoli soup, and I'm like, I love cream of broccoli soup in a bread bowl. It was like you got to eat it quick because it gets soggy, but it was good. Okay, I want to go back to some of the questions that people asked because there was a really good one about a new bros. So my lovely 3D print mastermind Philippe says, is there something in particular that you like to do with the newbies? His favorite was warping them to the local star with them and enjoying the oohs and ahs.
Something that I did actually was I would run lore fleets. So I would take a whole bunch of interested people, and we would all start flying to New Eden, or to the Eve Gate. So I would take them
Out in Genesis, yeah.
Yeah, out in Genesis, and we'd see all of these different sites along the way. I'd stop and show them things like my brain is totally failing. The monolith along the way, and then the Eve Gate, and the whole time I'm just talking nonstop, ruining my throat as I discuss the whole lore of the game as I knew it, which probably had plenty of holes. I wound up making a really big document that I'm sure would earn some frustrated sighs if I were to show it to the likes of
Uriel would like to know your location.
Well, that's the thing. It's from Uriel's perspective, it would be very simple. So he is much better about the lore than I was. I was just kind of a passively interested person, and I took the opportunity to share that with other people. But I would take them out to that, talk about the lore the whole way up from like the collapse of the Eve Gate through the Drifters at the time. Triglavians weren't a thing yet.
And then get shot by the locals.
Yes, usually. There's always like one cloaky Proteus in that system.
I used to get a kick out of because I knew some of the locals more recently, and they're like, yeah, we'd let the people come in because they want to see the sights, they want to see the Eve Gate, they want to see the monolith, but on the way out, they're fair game.
That actually explains a lot because it was always on the way out.
When in doubt, use wormholes.
This is true.
When I was in my NPC corp, and I'm like, oh my god, I want to go to the Eve Gate. To me, that's like a pilgrimage and everything. And then a friendly was like, yeah, we're gonna hop through wormholes. And this was way before I used mappers and everything. And then I'm like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. I need to fucking go back there again. God damn it, Lo.
I'm just ignoring him right now. Just ignoring him right now. He's
Anyways.
doing the things. He's doing the things. But okay, so now you're with CCP, and how long have you been with them?
I joined in March. So it was March 10th, I think was my first day. So that's put me at about
almost to your year.
Yeah, 10 months, I think, now.
You're getting up. So how has life been from now being a player, flying the ships, going, CC please, to now being the person that we're CC pleasing at.
I mean, I still have the very same urge that you guys have to CC please, and it's honestly really difficult for me not to abuse my privilege of being here. So it's something that you have to fight kind of every day. It's like, it'd be really cool if we did this, that sort of thing. But I think that's just a thing that almost everyone at the company has. So when you go out to a drink with a bunch of CCP devs or whatever, almost when it comes to work, everybody's got a cool idea that they'd love to see happen. So you're actually in really good company when it comes to that sort of thing, because everybody's like, I've got this great idea for this thing that we could do in LoSec, and here's how it would work, and it would be like, oh, that's really cool. It's always kind of an interesting thing to see how ideas kind of filter through people and the internal community to kind of become reality. But it's anyway.
Rainbow
what was the start of the question?
Rainbow Rorgles, just saying.
Yes.
I'm still on my Rainbow Rourke skin catch that will never end until I see one. They say the squeaky wheel gets the
oil. What about for Pride? Because June is Pride month and everything.
Good point.
But I just thought
we just need rainbows to come out of the back of the ship as it flies.
So in
I'm okay with that.
Wonderful.
In Vegas, for the last FanFest, when there was FanFest, when this was a thing where we could get together and meet and hold our flags high, the art team was doing custom shit for people. So we had a Rainbow Rourke skin created, and when it went into siege mode, it flew rainbows out the sides. It brought tears to my eyes.
That's amazing.
See, well, I'm all in on farting rainbows all over the place.
But I mean, a fair few of my suggestions are just like, yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
okay, I'm gonna try it.
And like the Icelanders, like they've got this fine knack of being like, yeah, sure, and you're like, not really. Like you know they're being like horribly polite, of like super interested in what you're saying, and in their head they're going, not happening.
I mean, you have to deal with the fact that when it comes to this sort of thing, A, they could be honestly interested and think it's a really cool idea, but then on another level, when they start to process it in terms of like, would this ever actually happen? It's either how much work or would it even get approved versus all of the other priorities that are always being contested, and so you kind of always have to fight with yourself over cool ideas versus reality,
which is completely understandable, and I find that not a lot of people actually take into consideration. They're just so hyper focused on like, shut up and take my idea. So like I
comment, there's lots of things to fix in Eve before Rainbow.
Listen, no, the rainbows are priorities.
The art team is not gonna fix the balance of the economy and whatever.
I do have some very cool. I have a list of some really cool ideas for April Fool's Day. So we'll see.
Bruh.
We'll see. I can't give them to you because then that would ruin it.
We can't do Hello Kitty skins because Hello Kitty is a thing. We can't do Hello Kitty. We can maybe do pink and white skins.
Those may or may not be on the very near horizon.
Really?
For a
limited time only?
No, they'll probably be around for quite a while, but they'll probably be maybe not directly from the store. So you'll see.
Ivy, limited time only is my thing.
Did you eat the meat? Did you see that how everybody perked up when you said that? We were all like, what? What? Skins? Skin horrors? Right here, all three of us. But leaks. You heard it first here, guys, on LNL. Pink and white skins on the horizons. How soon? We don't know. But pink skins, they are coming.
I don't think they're too far out. So.
How's it not a leak, Helios? You heard it here first.
It's a controlled information release. Wow. Honestly, that's a good one. Where'd you get that?
It sounds a whole lot better than the leak that it was.
Did you get that from Goon's High Command?
Oh. Have you changed sides, Helios?
I don't know. I don't know where they're from.
Reposting because
Yes.
Rain, I'm saying this out loud. Shout out to Aurora for the support of the tournament scene. Woot woot.
Yeah.
I love it. I actually one of the things that I forgot to mention, I suppose, in my brief player history there, is that in my time in Brave, I actually wound up becoming captain of the Alliance tournament team.
What?
So I was captain of the Alliance tournament team for the last Alliance tournament there.
Did you win?
We
I'm
won a
horrible with
couple.
alliances.
We won a couple games, which is about what I was hoping for. It was almost a brand new team, so we actually did pretty well with that, all considered. I learned a ton just from that experience, and we did pretty well. So it definitely kind of ignited a. Oh no, not top 8. I think we made top 32 that year. So I wish it was that impressive as top 8, but alas.
Miss says that was the bit that sold me on Aurora's announcement post. We desperately need more AT and PvP vets in CCP. And then thanks 1973, I thought the player run tournament was good. We really do miss the AT tournaments, and that would be, I don't know, something that maybe CCP might consider bringing back if there's interest. Because I know it was you guys doing it on like your own personal time, is my understanding how they originally were run.
Yeah, it's got kind of a long and strange history, and I wasn't here for it, so just trying to figure out exactly how things went in the past was always. It has been something that I've been kind of doing because when I came in, tournaments, the Alliance tournament had been canceled. There had been the tournament that was running during the World Tour that was ongoing, but I wanted to try and do a little bit of research of my own to figure out what exactly was the situation with those past tournaments. Why did they stop? Why did things wind up the way they did? I think it's pretty obvious just from all of the interest that the Alliance Open had, just how much interest there is. So it's not a lack of interest. I think it's just a case of what my goal is to try and figure out a way to do tournaments that avoids the issues that kind of dragged it down previously. So that's kind of my current task that I've taken upon myself there, and we'll see what comes of that over the next year, I suppose. But tournaments aren't dead. There will definitely be tournaments.
It's exciting to hear that like the fresh blood of CCP has like this drive and passion to bring the things that the players love back, and for us that's like yay, what's gonna happen next? Hype. We I'm not the best PvPer. I really am. An AT tournament I was interested, but I wasn't like, oh my god, it's this person and this team and this is amazing and I'm gonna play by. I am not that person. No, I'm not. But the excitement I see within the community for these tournaments when they happen, that's exciting. And that for me is like, okay, like this is something the community wants. How do we promote this? How do we go, yes, let's do this? So bring back rock mining. CC, please.
Listen,
CC,
rock
please.
mining is still there.
No, it's not. It's broken.
It's there, but it's broken.
You can clear an entire belt by yourself with one rock in 30 minutes. That is wrong on so many levels.
Now, wait, does that count in with, like, adjusting and everything?
Yeah, it's like 30 minutes to clear an entire belt. It's disgusting.
I don't know what to say.
Nope.
Either way,
So-
CCP Aurora can't do shit about rock mining.
I know. We know.
That would be one more for the ecosystem team. But hey.
The ecosystem team. Ooh, can we get an ecosystem? Ooh, I have a task for you now. We need an ecosystem team dev to come and talk with us.
I'm so
that we
sorry,
can pick their
Aurora.
brain. We want to pick their brain.
Oh, imagining what is his tag? Psych? CCP Psych on the show would be very entertaining.
Why? This is a good thing or a bad thing? Is he a chatterbox like me?
No, not quite.
Are you pleading the fifth?
He can be kind of quiet. It would be a very interesting dynamic. But hey, I'll see what I can do.
So Rain actually had a great question. When will the next wave of partner invites come out? Def asking for a completely selfish reason.
Ooh.
Partner invites coming out. We just pulled down the list today. So if there's anyone in that list that hasn't been processed yet, maybe over the next 2 weeks. So I would say next Friday at the earliest would be the next batch, and then if there's a lot of them, then it might go a week later than that.
Yeah, but it's super crying in stations. Okay, guys, we're to the point. We've gotten some serious good information about Aurora. We've got her past. We've got kind of what she's doing now. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of what you do now at CCP. What is your driving passion other than just being community? Like, what does your average day at CCP look like?
Oh, average day. Average day is a really weird one for me to answer because the average day for this job changes for a community just so much based on whatever our ongoing projects are. So it would be, I mean, we have day-to-day work that kind of happens every day. So we check the inbox and we'll go through and we take some time and we're, we have to poke some people, get some information, respond to emails, that sort of thing. There's other stuff going on. Anything that's getting published out to the public, we're like the end of that pipeline. And so we do all of the final steps in publishing. We do final approval on a lot of that sort of stuff. So that tends to pass through us. Any dev blogs or news that you see posted, like one of us posted that. So that keeps us relatively busy. We're involved in the wording of that sort of thing. So we give feedback on copy. We get pulled into all sorts of meetings all over the place where it's like, this is what we're thinking, what's the current player sentiment about this particular area. And sometimes we have to go, do a bit of research. We do something called a sentiment report it's bi-weekly, where we kind of all throughout time we're gathering up information from the community, trying to take the temperature of people on everything that's happening and getting ongoing issues, opinions, all of that sort of stuff. So in that way, the community team kind of acts as the pipeline for information between the community to the company. So it's not that the rest of the company can't go on social media or whatever, talk to players on their own, but we dedicate a lot of time to it. We break it down. We try to, be thoughtful about what's happening. So we're the pipeline of information between the players and the company. So one direction in terms of letting the company know, players' thoughts on things, how players may react to something that they're considering, all of that sort of thing, just so that decisions are reasonably well made. And then when we communicate out, it's, oh, we can't phrase it like this. It'll upset this side of the war because of space politics that you might not be quite as nuanced on or whatever. Space politics are a surprisingly common part of our job. So yeah, and we have to be well aware of them. So we're kind of diplomats, trying to walk the line in the middle. We want to remain unbiased because that's ideal. Space politics is real. Yeah, exactly.
It very much is, yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Just letting, for all the viewers in here, we are raffling off some partner Astero skins. So if you just want to do !raffle, it enters you into the draw.
Get in the draw, people.
And that is
They're
Redline.
Super cool skins.
They are beautiful. Actually, I'm going to show you in a minute.
Isn't there a
I didn't design them, but
too?
I put in I pushed for these skins to exist, and so I'm particularly proud of them.
Another thing that you can say, that was me.
Sort of. I was basically like, hey, make us these things. So I didn't make them, but
they're pretty.
They are.
Let's see, Van, show us.
It's loading up, so just a minute. And also just take our compliments, CCP Aurora.
Yes. We love you.
Just took the compliment.
It's just like me telling Ivy, shut up and take my whore money.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say, like, take my whore compliment.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. It's what we do. Okay, guys, questions. Let's get to the question hours. Like, it's question
yeah.
hour. What are your
Just throw 'em at me.
burning, raging questions for CCP Aurora? Let's read them off and go back. Do you think CCP will give players alliance logos on their ships from Goomba Freehand?
That is something that has been talked about by CCP and the CSM almost every year. It's something that we don't technically have the technical backend to make it happen just yet. In terms of like figuring out how exactly the mechanics of that would work. Would it like just grab the current logo of the existing player and then project it or something like that? In any case, it's a super cool idea, which pretty much everyone is in agreement on. But like anything, it's subject to the balancing of priorities that goes on in terms of business. So I think it's a thing that's going to happen at some point. I can't tell you when, but keep asking for it, and I'll keep letting them know you're asking for it, and eventually it may be a thing that we will see.
Ms. asked, but I think you already touched on this one a little bit. What's the future of AT?
The future of Alliance Tournament right now is me trying to figure out how to make tournaments happen without the issues that dragged the previous one down. So yeah, it's very much like I said before. There were some things that happened in the previous ones that kind of caused things to be, I don't know, a little bit too onerous for a number of people in the company. So they were taking up too much time from some people. They were asking too much, and it was conflicting with the other priorities that they had. All of that sort of thing. So we also part of what happened there, to my understanding, is that we lost a little bit of the knowledge that kind of made that sort of thing run. So as some people have noted, I've kind of stepped in and I've absorbed a lot of. I think I'm almost fully caught up at this point, but I've absorbed a lot of Logibro's knowledge that he had. So it took a lot of research, and I spent a lot of time, digging through that. But at this point now, like I have the technical capability to run a big tournament. But it's the organization and stuff that's actually more work. And I'm sure that ArtJ or the people from EVNT that just ran the Alliance Open can attest to the fact that it's a ton of work to run one of those things. So just finding the time to allocate such efforts is part of the task. In any case, this is a lot of saying, I absolutely want to make tournaments happen. And I'm going to push for it, but I can't tell you what form exactly that's going to take at this point.
Julius says, can I date you all? And as I said, I'm taken. Sorry, Julius. No, not for you. Canty says, going back to the Rourke comment, 30 minutes to mine a belt is powerful, but when Veld is 2 times the value of Arc and Bistot M3 equals M3. I disagree with that, bud. No. Like, one person shouldn't be able to clear an entire belt by themselves. Like, the whole point of mining was getting a bunch of you into a belt and everybody working together and having fun on comms and chitty chatting. Now it's like Silence of the Lambs. It's bad. Is there, so Dr. Fanes, is there new content planned in, I don't even know how to say this, Pochven? I don't know how to.
Pochven was, in its creation, is very much intended to act as just a place with a lot of potential, even after the invasion ended. So I'm almost certain that they're not done with it. So there is likely things coming. That said, I have no details on what those are yet. And that's not just me being, I can't tell you. That's me honestly not knowing what's happening yet. But I only tend to learn about things a couple months in advance at best. So it's not done. Nothing in Eve is ever in a final state.
No, it's always constantly evolving and moving.
Everything's constantly evolving, and Pochven is just, a region with a ton of potential for what it could develop into, that I'm absolutely sure that they're not done with it.
The next ones I see.
Sorry, I just want to step in once again, guys that are complaining about like M2 TAC, whatever, don't forget, CCP Aurora is a community dev, not an actual game dev. So if y'all want to fucking bitch about, oh, the servers are broken, whatever shit like this, fuck off. Seriously, I'm sorry. It really pisses me off. Like, we had Convict come on last week, and it was amazing. And then we have Aurora taking the time to do this, and then yet some of you
When
guys
it's like midnight for her.
Yeah, exactly. Some of you guys are actually legit
Almost
just
1
being
a.m.
dicks. Like, yeah, I'm salty, whatever, still, but once again, this is a community developer. They're taking the time out of their own day to come on talk to us. I'm sorry, thanks for coming to Mal's TED Talk. I'm gonna shut up now.
I'm honestly not afraid of any questions. So I've actually been talking about the M2 TAC thing for pretty much this whole week. I just got out of multiple interviews with journalists on this topic. That sort of thing, which is a common other part of our day-to-day job.
Yeah, we get it, but we want, when you come on, like, we don't want our viewers to try and harass the crap out of you. It's no, we're here for fun and comment
Okay.
and having fun. No harassment. Or I stick Mal on you and have fun with that, people. Styx says, are they going to fix Edencom LP?
Are they going to fix Edencom LP? I think that kind of falls into it's slightly too technical of a question for me to answer because I don't know the specifics of the plan. But I think the whole situation surrounding Potchfin and the content and the LP store, all of that stuff is, the possibility for change exists. And just keep an eye on the announcements. You haven't heard much about what's coming this year yet, but new news is eventually coming.
So Odin Trisk says community liaison officer. That is customer focused. So yeah, we can complain to that person about game issues even if technical. Okay, yes, you can complain to them, but you cannot blame them for the technical issues that are encountered. So complain, sure. Blame, not here, not tonight.
I don't know. I mean, I was the one who snuck into the server room to have that water balloon fight. It was really bad timing.
Was it?
Kidding.
no.
Tiberian says CCP has done an amazing job getting so many people in one system over the years. They never get enough credit. I 100% agree. 100% agree.
The red dot. The red dot.
The red dot.
I've heard about the red dot ever since I started because that was added right before right before I started at CCP. So the red dot has been a red dot on my entire job experience here, and it's a thing that I've heard a whole lot about. And in case you're wondering, it's something that Brisk remembers to remind us about on pretty much a weekly basis.
I think Brisk went around with little red dot stickers at eVegas. I don't know if it was Brisk. Brisk, I'm sorry if it wasn't you, but somebody went around with little, like, those dollar store red dot stickers for, like, pricing things out, and went around red dotting everything. Okay, because this question keeps getting asked by two different over and over and over, I am going to ask it, so stop asking.
Okay.
Does CCP plan on putting up monuments for record world-breaking fights?
CCP plans on making monuments. We're not done making monuments, so it's not like we finished the Katya monument. We're like, all right, we're good. We did our part. More monuments will definitely come. We're always looking for ways to make a really cool monument. If you have suggestions on, like, it would be really cool to get a monument for this.
Eve North.
An Eve North monument.
Odin says, are they going to fix imbalance between plus trig standings and the plus Edencom standing benefits? See Baleful's commentary on Talking in Stations.
Unfortunately, that one's going to be a bit too complicated for me to ask, for me to answer. I wish I had that information because I get really into the specifics of that sort of thing too. But as far as unannounced design stuff, that's well beyond me. I apologize.
Ooh, this is a good one. Livia, any sneak peeks about February events, maybe friendships/love storm? Pink and white skins, February. Livia, I love you right now. I love you. You just, the leak, it's there. You just connected the dots for me.
I can't confirm or deny. I will let the tinfoil continue.
Oh, that would be great. It'd be like, what did you do for Valentine's Day? It'd be like, I played spaceships and I made it pink.
Goomba Freehand.
Unfortunately-
Oh, sorry. Continue. My apologies.
Unfortunately, not only am I not cleared to give any leaks right now, I have very little information. So I missed the like, here's what we're doing for the next few months meeting earlier, and I haven't gone back and read the notes yet. So in terms of like getting leaks out of me, I need to read that like soon, but I'm not up to date on what's coming just yet. So there's a couple things I have advance notice of, but there's very little for me to leak right now. You're just kind of getting what I currently know, which is about the future, not all that much.
Goomba says, is CCP going to be sticking with single weapon systems with new ships like Trig and Edengom?
I heard CCP Rise talk about that a little bit. It's definitely something cool when you build a custom weapon system. It gives you a lot of potential stuff to play with, and I think we saw some pretty cool, unique things come out of the Triglavian ships, which are super popular. The Edencom ships, which are still finding their niche, although they've suddenly become very popular simply because of the Abyss. They're really popular for abyssal runs, which is pretty cool to see them, find a thing. Perhaps they'll find more, but it's not a is this only what we're going to do? So I mean, all doors are open. So is there potential for more things like that in the future? Yes, but we might also see a return to touching on more of your classic ship designs as well, or weapon tweaks, which we actually saw just recently. So they're not going to be as big and flashy as a brand new weapon system, but what we saw with the recent torpedo change during the Phoenix release, so we saw torpedoes tweaked and made a whole lot more interesting, and like, oh wow, I might actually want to use the torpedo ship now. It's just kind of that sort of stuff never stops. So
yeah.
Go
ahead, Mal.
Thank you. I just want to say so. Oh, also Skyhawk. Yeah, that's me because I'm showing you the skins and everything. Sorry. So Lo Hyra says, what does the community team look to expand its Broadcast for Reps program with the player community that helps support it? So obviously, for the people that don't know what Broadcast for Reps is, it is literally broadcasting for reps whenever you are struggling outside a game. It's a great source for people to reach out and be like, hey, I'm not okay. I'm struggling. We did a great Broadcast for Reps episode last year. I can't wait to do this year's again. It's gonna be fucking amazing. But yeah, just wanted to give that. And anyways, CCP Aurora.
Right. Broadcast for reps is, I mean, it's something that we all understand to just be incredibly valuable. And a lot of our community has gotten a ton of value out of it. So we really, we want to thank you for all that you guys do. CCP plays something of a role in that in terms of, when you have concerns for someone who's making threats on their own life, you can put in a ticket. And if anyone is unaware of this, by the way, if you're afraid that anyone is at risk to harm themselves, you can put in a ticket, file it under stuck when you put in a ticket to our GMs, and just be very clear about the title. And those things get responded to very quickly. The GMs have a whole process that they go through to try and do everything that we can to make sure that those people are safe. And we kind of help in that way. But you guys do a lot more in terms of you know, the day-to-day. Not every case is something that requires a situation like that, which is something that we're certainly thankful for. And it's largely because these people have, you know, someone to talk to. In terms of what CCP is going to do for the program, we actually discussed just recently some ways to show our appreciation for some of the things you guys are doing. And those discussions are not yet finished, but yeah, I mean, I know that some of you here in this call are involved, so thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much, Ivy, for posting that.
Broadcast for Reps link is in the chat stream, guys, for anybody that wants to join Discord. I cannot say that I run that Discord. I'm on it. I am not a moderator there, but as a member of Sixth Empire, we strongly recommend and endorse and 100% agree with the Broadcast for Reps motto. If you need help, the Sixth Empire answers all calls. We are New Eden's Coast Guard. We're not specifically Broadcast for Reps or Reps for Heals or Spam for Heals. We are not those peoples, but we are there if you need us. We had an issue even before the show today where somebody needed help, and I think within the span of like 5 minutes, we had 4 different people jumping on this person and got CCP involved with a wow turnaround time for that ticket response. It was like boom, done, and CCP was involved. So kudos to CCP for how actively they are with the Broadcast for Rep ticket also. But again, it's a topic that's very near and dear to my heart. I've said this time and time again in lots of my interviews that I've done in the past about how I got involved with, you know, Eve North and why I'm so keen on this community. But while I didn't specifically say, hey, Broadcast for Reps, I'm in a bad place, I need help, it was the Eve community that got me through probably the last hell I had from 2016 to 2018. Like, my life was crap, but it was the Eve community that helped me through it. And so if I can give back, which is why I do this, which is why I do Eve North, which is why I'm so actively involved in everything, like, you guys are why I'm here, so thanks. And now we've got kids. Say hi. Hi!
Classic.
She could be a voice actor.
Once again, to people that are entering in the Astero skin contest, obviously you could see it here on our stream. I am undocked, and I'm showing you this beautiful, gorgeous Astero skin. It's you guys did an amazing job designing this thing. It is gorgeous, it is beautiful. All the attention to detail is just wonderful.
And the children, they are only come to torment me because the internet to their devices has been turned off because of what time it is, because it's supposed to be bedtime. So now they are down here smothering me in their love because they want the Wi-Fi turned back on. Too
bad. Deal with it. When they're old enough and pay for the Wi-Fi and everything, they could do that on their own.
Odin, I love that you say that they're my sisters, but they are my children. These are my girls.
So cute.
They're in awe over like watching us versus the stream and seeing the green turn into black.
Anyone else have questions for CCP Aurora?
Yeah, that's you know.
Yeah, hit me with questions. I'm down to.
Okay, I got one for you. And out of your your 10 months experience at CCP, what has been, would you say, what are your biggest challenges yet that you've had to face to date?
Oh, man, that's a tricky one because it almost feels very open-ended. I mean, challenges are a thing that you kind of face day to day. There have been technical challenges in terms of me digging into when I was uncovering all of the tournament stuff. I was well outside my the bounds of a community developer when I was doing this actually, and so I was doing it after work. I would stay, and I dug through a ton of old code, and I slowly I've called it techno archaeology, because the people who were around that could have previously kind of explained how everything worked weren't around anymore, and so I just felt like I was like brushing the dust off of this old machinery just to like, does this thing even work anymore? And you start putting it together and you're like, whoa, it gives the it's a calendar that gives the current state of all the planets, and you've just like turned on the Antikythera device. That's a nerdy reference. The But so that was a challenge. Other challenges that I faced, I mean, when you start at any new company, just feeling the waters, you have to, there's always kind of like this dance that you have to do where you're kind of like feeling out, the different gaps and crevices and how everything works, trying to get an understanding of the processes and just the corporate political environment. Not that there's like a strong political environment at CCP or anything like that, but just, how do different people work? How, what are these people's strengths? If I want to get this done, who do I need to talk to, and what's the best way to approach them with this sort of stuff? And so there's just a lot of effort that gets put into feeling out exactly how to work with a new group of people. That I suppose is the sort of thing that goes unsaid. Like, a lot of people think like you just have a job, go do it. But when your job is working with people, people are like these complex mechanical moving parts when it comes to a social system. And so you have to get a feel for all of the different people and their relationships and their skill sets and what they do and all of that stuff. So that is probably, it was and has been the biggest challenge of starting here. Was how do you work this out? How do you navigate this? And then COVID's thrown an extra wrench in, because normally
Darn
you would
COVID.
have a lot of additional feedback by doing this in person. So when you're exploring a new company and you're learning people, it's a lot easier when those people are right there, because you get just body language hints and that sort of thing as you're dealing with them, which can be really useful and informative. And you don't get those when you're talking on Slack. So
Redline actually has a really good question. What's your favorite thing about being a community dev?
honestly, it's just kind of an honor. So Eve has been this thing that I've had a love for a really long time now, and it's just really cool to be able to go to work and know that the thing that I'm working on is the thing that I care about so much. And so I've never had a job where I'm so hugely motivated to do good things. I've always wanted to do good work, but not quite on the same level. Like, all college web pages are bad, and when I was working on a college web page before, it's like, yeah, I absolutely care about doing a good job, making a good college web page, but in terms of the passion for the project, it's a little bit different. So it's just really cool to be able to work on Eve and then to see all of the cool stories and stuff that happen in the game. And it's especially cool when I see something that I've worked on has had an impact on people and helped create cool moments or bring people together, or created cool memories. All of that sort of stuff is just like, I took part about that. I had a part in that. I can be super proud of it, and being able to do that every day is just something that I really love. The Viking swords for CCP employees, yeah, there's a whole wall of them. Is pretty cool. During the interview tour, where when you get here and they walk you around the office, they walk you by the wall of swords, and there's like this moment of silence, like this is what you could be. It was
Do you get to
kind
bring
of
your
funny.
sword home? Like, do you get to keep your sword?
You can, although if you bring it home, it has to be like shipped, and you have to lock it up because there's like weapons laws in Iceland. But
Ah.
you can. Most people opt to leave it on like the wall of honor.
Rain wanted to know, when is CCP Aurora going to do more streams on the CCP channel, especially the PvP ones?
That's actually something that I was thinking about really recently. And I have a question to ask you guys because this would be kind of cool. I haven't gotten to lead much fleets lately, and something that I enjoy. Do you think people would be interested in if I were to run like a CCP NPSI fleet? So basically, that would be the stream. So we would advertise it beforehand, meet up in Jita, and then head out. NPSI, thanks 1973, that is not Purple Shoot It, is what that acronym stands for. So basically, it's a fleet that goes out and kills people.
Yes, please,
But I
God,
thought it would
yes.
be, I thought it would be really cool. And so this idea that I've been playing with for a couple months now actually has been, like, yeah, I could do this certainly. And it might become a project of mine if I make this happen. But I could also get like guest FCs from around the company, perhaps. So it'd be really cool to, Hilmar leads a fleet. It would take some convincing, perhaps, but I'd love to be able to make that happen. And so
That man doing everything, he's so perfect in everything he does. Like, even like in Vegas, I got the honor of, I said to CCP, hey, do you want to go to the gun range? And soon it turned into like this CCP plus me and one other Eve North guy going to the gun range with CCP devs. And Hilmar came out, and this man, like the biggest freaking guns, boom, 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 perfect, like taking out the middle of this freaking target, and like he's like, see, easy, and we're like, okay, man, you're a little bit scary there. And then later on the axe throwing, we're like, me and a couple of devs, we're trying to throw the axes. They're all dull, they're bent, we're not getting anything to land. Hilmar walks over, he goes, axe, and we hit him. He turns around, whoa, bullseye. He's like, see, easy, and then walks away, and we're like, holy crap.
I went axe throwing with a couple of people here, some friends from CCP, and we got down to like the trick shots. Like we were all doing all right, but we got to the trick shots, and one of them was like you throw 2 axes at once, and so there was like only a couple people that had ever managed to double bullseye with 2 axes thrown simultaneously. And there had never been a girl. And I just like, I took them both. I focused. I stood there awkwardly for like a solid 20 seconds. And I managed the double bullseye on my first try. So good.
Woo.
Amazing.
He took my picture and everything.
You're on the Wall of Fame now?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Represent for the females.
Yeah,
Woo.
that's fantastic. So I would be like the girl in that video that like throws it and it actually bounces off and almost hits her right in the face. So yeah, I don't think I would be as good at that.
Yoshi, Hilmar equals badass. It was like.
Hilmar is a super cool guy. I have the pleasure of talking to him almost every week.
That's awesome.
Probably more than bi-weekly at least, but he's part of that sentiment report that we do. There's other stuff, we're in common contact, and as a matter of fact, it was really cool. One day he reached out to me, and he just wanted to talk about how cool he thought my MS Paint drawings were. It was just really cool to get a message from him that was like, here is, what was it? These remind me a lot of some of the early designs for EVE Online, and he actually like shared with me some early design documents that were kind of a lot like my MS Paint ones.
Ooh, Val does Mal does some serious MS paints. It's Hilmar and Delana.
Oh,
He
nice.
is so tall too, and I'm like, me being 5'5", so I'm like, oh. I know it's hard to see with like a reflection.
So
but I
he
was like,
released
ooh.
early concept arts that have a striking resemblance to your MS Paint.
Well, my MS Paint were, so if anybody's familiar with the classes that I've run on Twitch, so they usually come with MS Paint drawings, where I diagram out, like how different things work mechanically in Eve. One sec, I can link them for the chat.
Yes. Yeah, she's short, low. Like she's only 5'5".
I'm average height, alright?
This is why certain people think she's super cute and totally dateable.
I mean, Diana
please.
is obviously fucking super cute.
I'm not a freak, thank you very much. I'm a motherfucking Amazon.
That's why I carry the flag around at events so that people can find me.
So people can find you.
There's all these tall people everywhere, and then there's just like me. I'm like, there's like tall
Help!
people. Like,
I actually I got mistaken for you at Eve North.
well, a lot of people would also think I'm Rain. A lot of people think we're
not-
like the same things.
Not you,
Well, I
Delana.
mean,
I got
like-
mistaken for Ivy.
Oh,
To be
her.
honest, CCP
Oh, you're-
Aurora,
are you?
I could see it because like the hair and the face
Yeah.
shape.
Okay.
It was from behind, to be fair.
Well, a lot of
but-
people just assume there's
How tall
one
are
girl
you?
that plays Eve, so they all think we're the same person. So
This is true.
It's true.
How tall are you, Aurora?
5'8". So I'm
Well, I
sort
guess
of
you're
tall.
taller-ish.
yeah, is it taller than me? Okay. Well, yeah,
But yeah, it was-
Silver is a small girl, so at least she.
Silver
Yeah,
is pocket size.
It took some convincing for me to convince Dirk that it was not you. So
TH.
It was Dirk? Dirk knows me, though. Like,
it was from
Well,
behind, and there was a lot of
true.
alcohol.
Well,
involved,
yeah,
so.
they
There's
just
a
see
lot of
like hair
alcohol
color. They
involved.
just see hair color, and they're like, "Are you?" And I'm like,
I don't have my. I am not 7 feet tall. I'm only 6'2". But like my
THX.
hair's all like "Meh."
Ivy can explain what Eve North is.
Eve North. Eve North is my baby. Eve North originally started out just as like little player Eve meets on a monthly basis where the Toronto and area people, we'd get together, we'd drink, we'd have food, but then it has evolved. It's kind of like a mini Eve Vegas, only Canadian style. So we've got poutine and maple syrup and axe throwing and me and my Eve North team where we bring you the fun of we're just another event on the Eve World Tour. You know, nothing major. It was pretty good. Eve North.
I've driven
It's
down
it's
from
good
Ottawa for
Canadian
it.
style, not the Canadian bacon style, because that's
Listen,
a lot.
Canadian
Canadian
bacon is
style.
also delicious as well.
It's okay, but it's just ham.
Listen, THX, it's north of
Whoa.
America, alright?
North of America.
So, like,
He's fighting.
deal with it.
Hello, Iris, for
I am
IC
more
for Eve
northern.
North.
it's very north for me. I mean, I live in Louisiana,
Also-
so basically everything else is north. So.
Also,
Dude,
folks,
I'm north of Toronto also, thanks. And Yoshi, I said I'm 6'2". I'm an Amazon. I'm tall.
also, folks, that are, like, people from America that are hesitant about coming to Eve North, your dollar is 20 cents fucking better than ours. Seriously, you're
Right,
saving money by coming
I was
to
like
Eve
buying
North.
all of the things. Not really, but I bought.
But,
some
like,
good stuff.
seriously, a lot of people don't understand that, and it's just like,
Red,
yo.
Redneck Yakin, are you part of the Yakin crew? Are you a Yakin? We're all in Ontario. Me and Mal are we're in, you know, Ontario. We're doing the things.
Oh, I just
And I'm
said
not in Toronto.
Ottawa.
I am north of Toronto. I don't live in Toronto. I'm in a small rural community north of Toronto because, you know, like I live in the country. I'm a country girl at heart. I really am.
I love Toronto. The Eve Toronto or Eve North there during the world tour when I got to go was just.
As-
I think
I'm not in.
I think that was my favorite event.
Also, Redline,
poor
Letterkenny is actually like about an hour west of where I live. So, how about this? I'm gonna take a drive to Letterkenny and I'm gonna take a photo for you saying, "Welcome to Letterkenny." All right, and they're like, "How are you now?"
We're all in the general area of Toronto, give or take a few. Yeah, you know, Mr. Bloodfeather though, he comes down. This man comes down before COVID, would take the Via Rail or the Greyhound from
or
Quebec
hitch a ride from me.
or hitch a ride from Mal, and they would drive the 6+ hours just to come for a 2-hour dinner and food meetup. Like, that is commitment to Eve North. And dudes, I have to unmic myself, but I cannot tell you how much love I have for you guys and the commitment you've shown just to helping the community grow. Like, In the fields, right in the fields. I love you people.
And while we're at it, we're gonna have an Eve New Orleans eventually. It's
I
supposed to
know.
happen last year, but you know, the stuff happened, so eventually. And then
Donna.
I was really looking forward to that one. I actually have
Well-
family down in New Orleans. but-
Oh, okay.
NOLA is my birthday, or it was going to be my birthday, so me and Apple were totally carpooling down, and I'm telling you, the Eve North crew, we are coming to represent at NOLA and give you our support, because
It
I
will
am
happen
stoked.
Eventually, TM. You know, like
Nollan.
the stuff is kind of crazy right now, but it will happen. We are very determined to make it happen eventually.
Same with Eve North. Like I said, we had to boost the fleet yet again, people. Super sorry, but your safety comes first to us, and we look at the stuffy from Mal. She's put in a replacement, Mal.
I like it.
Manic says Eve
That's super
Nolans.
cute.
Nobody pronounces it like that.
Nolans.
No. No. But yeah, we're all gonna. You know, we have Mardi Gras time right now, and we're all like, since all the parades are
Dude.
canceled, so we're just kind of like sad Mardi Gras noises.
I want to do. I want to do like the real Mardi Gras once it's on COVID. Olivia was talking about COVID vaccines. I'm getting the poke tomorrow, so I'll tell you all
nice.
how I make out post poke. It's about time I get some action. Get poked by something, like certain people in the States stuck and not coming to me.
But yeah, I am just looking forward to going places again, and then look at the calendar my parents got me for this year.
Aww, that's like heart wrenching.
Rubbing it in your face.
You
Yeah.
can't go
And
here.
it's like it has all the pictures. I'm like, I know I went to some of those places.
You're like, I've been there. I've been there. Aurora, have you eaten canned fish in Iceland?
Canned fish. I don't think I've eaten any fish from a can. I actually have.
What
we
about
got
the fermented shark?
No, I haven't tried the fermented. Oh wait, I take that back. I've had a little. It tastes better than it smells. It was actually funny because I was walking down the street and
You
I
can
had
get canned
noticed-
fish, but not canned soup. Manica.
I thought that there was gas leaks or something happening, and it turns out that a lot of people were making this fish and they put it outside so it doesn't stink up their houses.
And you're like, there's a gas leak and it's the fish.
That's such an
Yeah.
Icelandic thing. I don't know. It's like
Oh, thank you for the raid. We love it. Oh my god.
I'll be there eventually, and look, I still have my money.
Just took out her money.
My money.
That's one of the things I love about traveling to all those like different Eve meets is I love collecting the currency, and like my youngest daughter collects all the coins, so she's like, give me the fish money, mummy. Yeah,
Hey,
talking about meats.
The Canada bucks too, with the see-through.
Isn't Iceland expensive to live in?
Sasha.
Fun little fact. Our birth certificates are actually the same material as the money.
Oh, cool.
Isn't Iceland expensive to live? Yes, but as long as you make a reasonable wage, it's good. I mean, you're kind of you're paying a little bit extra for the society that you're living in, I suppose. But it seems a totally reasonable trade. So
how is it compared to because you were in upstate New York? So how is it living in Iceland compared to like I know New York is expensive American wise. So what would you say the comparisons in between like what you're paying there to what you're doing now? Like how would you?
It's about the same in terms of, if anything, it's a little bit cheaper here. So where I live and work, a car isn't required. So in New York, like you have to have a car. There's no other option. So that goes for pretty much everywhere in the States. If you want to get anywhere, you have to have a car. So that cuts out an expense. In terms of apartment pricing, it's about the same as my area, which is reasonably affluent in Saratoga Springs. It's kind of a rich horse racing town. So that hasn't changed too much in terms of that. There's a lot of like all the utilities and stuff that you would normally pay for. tend to be really cheap here, actually. So things like electric is just it's just like a tiny little fee. And then there's all of these other things that you start to realize slowly that are actually saving you money, such as cable. So you're not getting billed by some vampiric cable company that doesn't want to provide you decent service and sucks out a ton of money every month. It's just, relatively affordable comparatively. And then if you didn't have a job that provided healthcare, you get healthcare from the government here, and so that's not a concern. And so it's kind of like everything is almost simplified compared to living in the U.S. And I think when I take all of that into account, even though some things like food cost a little bit more, or like various goods, I'm not a super material person, that can cost more. But you have to also deal with the fact that like you're living in an island in the upper Atlantic and you can't just order stuff on Amazon. So if you're really used to that, like that's gone. You can,
I'm so
but
screwed.
it's really expensive. I bought this exercise bike. Hold on. This exercise bike that you can see over there. I did technically get that on Amazon, but I had to go to the UK Amazon, and I had to do a lot of searching to find something that would ship here. And it was like 300 British pounds for the bike, and then I paid 300 British pounds in shipping. So it was a lot of money to get this bike. It's been a lifesaver stuck in the apartment, but with that sort of thing, it
That's
can
so much
be
money for a bike.
expensive.
Oh my god.
Now wait, so 600 British pounds?
That's
Yeah, for the spin
that's
bike.
like 900 Canadian.
When I compared it to
I'm gonna look it up.
when I compared it to the cost of exercise bikes in Iceland, which are already hard to come by, it was actually still cheaper. So
821 United States dollars.
So
when it comes to anything electronic or big stuff like this can be very expensive. So if you live frugally and you don't get a lot of stuff like this, if you're not like, I need a new refrigerator every 2 years or whatever, it's not too bad. But yeah.
So 600 UK dollars is $1,038 Canadian Monopoly monies.
What was it?
$1,038.
I was close. I said 900.
Listen, Canadian dollar be shit.
This is true.
Vlad is asking-
that question about have I acquired a taste for gull beer yet? Actually, I've acquired a taste for something much less cultured, I guess. It's about as least cultured as you could possibly get. We've gotten turned on to this thing called beer imported, and that's literally the name of it. It's just says beer and then it says imported underneath, and it doesn't taste amazing. It just tastes like beer, but it's surprisingly cheap when alcohol can be pretty expensive. So it almost feels like a very college person answer. But yeah, this super cheap beer called beer imported with no name, like that is the name of it. I think it's technically produced in France or something. I don't know. That has been what we've been drinking, and we kind of get a kick out of that. So I've perhaps gone less cultured. I had previously liked like Blue Moon, that sort of thing, down to beer imported,
Well,
which
I
it's
did
just kind of
see,
funny.
I did see like a Louisiana rum. It's Bayou rum that I saw in the the duty free shop or whatever at the airport in Iceland. I'm like,
Oh, look at that.
it's Louisiana stuff. So yeah. I know a lot
Hey,
of people
guys.
would go like shopping there, but
We're gonna start wrapping up because poor Aurora, it is ridiculously late for her, and we don't want to be mean. So let's do some last minute questions. We're gonna do a couple more questions, and then we are gonna call
And
it a
Redline
night.
needs to end the stream actually.
Redline's
Sorry,
gonna end the stream?
the raffle.
Yeah,
Listen,
Redline needs to end the raffle.
These
Mal's been
drinks
drinking.
These drinks be strong.
Dude, we're not
oh,
open
no.
comms.
I'm totally down for more questions. So if anyone has more questions for me about
Give me the
or
skins.
Eve
No,
or
no.
CCP or random Iceland questions, hit me up.
Redline, I almost thought I had a lot more responsibility than I actually do.
Listen, on Thursday nights he gets a break, and then it's just all on me. But next week it's gonna be Diana,
Is it gonna be Delana next
because
week?
I'm on call.
Oh.
Yeah, just let me know. So now I can freak out about the audio not working
Honestly,
when I
no. Honestly,
inevitably
listen,
forget
next
something.
week, if we have 4 people on cam, you don't have to touch a thing.
The best part of this is I just get to sit back and look pretty, guys, and be like, suffer.
Must be nice.
I'm working on it. We'll all take turns eventually. But what we do need is Redline needs to get off his butt and do our new intro and exit songs. CCP Aurora, what is an upgrade you would want to see in Eve?
Oh man, that's a loaded question, and it's a hard one for me to answer because I have all sorts of ideas. Some of them are probably bad. Some of them are maybe decent. Geez, how do I answer this? An upgrade that I would want to see in Eve. I guess I can just pick one of many. Oh man, it's really hard. It's really hard for me to pick one because now I'm like rapidly going through all these ideas that I have in my head. Like, oh, this is probably a terrible idea. Would I actually suggest this? So let me give you a couple quick examples. So, an example of something that I did actually suggest, and I don't know if this is necessarily something that will happen. So please just let this come as it is. Was like I was scanning down a wormhole the other day, and I was like, it would be really nice if there was just a center probes on self button so that I can scan down the home hole like instantly. So that's always my biggest annoyance is when I'm scanning a new hole is I have to figure out which of the SIGs is the one for that I just came through. And if I didn't have to figure that out, because every time I scan it down, I'm like, oh, that's me. This feels like a waste of time. Like I don't need to bookmark this thing that I just scanned. Like either have it just enter as a scan thing when you land on grid, or like it enters in, or just like a center probes on self button, and then you just like drop them to half an AU, scan once, save it, that sort of thing. I would love that. So super simple idea that was like not even a particularly interesting one. And then I have much bigger ideas for things that I'd love to see. Really fancy things like capitals having different shields on different sides, and like being able to like do like the Star Trek kind of like you have to rotate your shields against the enemy fleet in order to maintain your tank, so that you like bring some additional piloting skill in for capital ships, or things like adding in corporate influences to high sec, where you could it would almost be like a Sov light system, which would allow you to build up some like corporate influence, and like your corporation would have some control over that or something. Who knows? Uh, it's just a whole bunch of ideas. I've talked about like citadels having slots in a system. So like you only have so many citadel slots, and then maybe you'd have like a forward operating base that you could use in order to attack a system. Who knows? So as far as ideas about Eve, I'm not even like special. If you were to ask any CCP employee like this with as equally as small a filter as I have, you would probably get a similar response where they just kind of spew out a whole bunch of ideas. A lot of the things I said, just to be very clear, I've never actually run them by people in the company because I haven't fully finished thinking about that idea, and I probably haven't had a reasonable, like a chance to make a reasonable thing come up. I have a lot of ideas about the new player experience. So with I think something that Eve Echoes actually does really well, it's quite simple change, is they have this extended tutorial. So it's like all of these goals that you can do in order to get like really cool rewards. That gives you a lot of like multiple weeks of stuff to work towards over time. So goal setting in Eve is actually a super important thing, and those that can't set goals eventually wind up, often they don't continue playing the game. because the ability to make goals in Eve is super important. So, stuff like that. But I'm an absolute fountain of ideas, and I usually don't tell anybody. So, congrats on
Getting it out
getting a
of
whole
you.
bunch of them thrown at you.
Odin wants to know how much Icelandish can you speak already?
Icelandish?
Icelandish. Almost none. As a matter of fact, every time I get in a taxi and I have to tell them like what street I want, it's just miserable. I end up having to pull up Google.
Bring me
just
here.
pronouncing,
Yeah,
just
the
pronouncing
streets
some of the
are
words is really
worst.
difficult.
And I just remember, like, at FanFest 2018, just talking to Fozzie, and he's like, I don't know any Icelandic because I'm Canadian. I've been working here for like 6 years, and I learned nothing.
Yeah, it's really hard to learn. Like, there's no good resources. It's not like you can just go on Duolingo because it's a really niche language. Everybody speaks English, so there's no pressure ever. And if you just like slightly mispronounce an Icelandic word, there's no way in heck they're going to continue trying to speak Icelandic with you. Like, it's going to English at that point. So I know a couple words. I can get through when I go to the grocery store. I can get through a grocery store transaction at the register without having to use English. But I only need to know a couple words. Like,
How much?
you say hi, like godayan, and then you start packing your groceries, and then they ask you, do you want a receipt? Which sounds something like oh no. Yeah, I don't know. I've already forgotten. Kvitten. Kvitten. So it's like, do you want a receipt? Kvitten is the word, so they're just saying receipt. And then you say yao or nay. And that's it. Like, that's the all of my Icelandic.
That was me, and I had we have a very predominant Indian community in the area in which I work, and I've tried to pick up a couple of Punjabi words because sometimes I go to these homes and nobody's there to translate, and I've got grandma or grandpa, and they have no English, and I've got no Punjabi. So your story reminds me of this time I was out doing a patient visit, and they were having a massive wedding, and I walked in, and I was, looking around for my normal translator, couldn't find them, and I walked in, and I'm like, so, like, how are you? And they're like, and I'm like, dard for pain, and like everybody stopped talking, and they're all like, white woman knows Punjabi, what's going on here? And I'm like, no. You got like my 5 words of Punjabi, and that's all you've got. So let me wrap this up so I can get out.
Yeah, that's like I know in Iceland most people know English, but the card machines are still all in Icelandic. So I would swipe my credit card. I'm like, I hope that means approved.
Yeah, they all use the same one. So I think at this point, like, or when I go to the self-checkout machine, like, I no longer have to switch it to English because it always feels like it's shaming me. When you switch it to English, every time you do anything, it announces it out loud in English. And it's like, yeah. You're just like mocking me at this point.
You're being Kingston.
So, yeah,
Go walk
exactly.
in Quebec. I'm saying.
I took like 9 years of French, and so I'm actually totally okay with in Quebec.
Wait,
I would enjoy it.
Quebec French or Parisian French?
Yeah.
Our teacher was from Quebec.
Okay, then
So-
yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Have a good
Like
night.
I've got Ontario French, and
Well,
all my
it's a-
family is from Quebec. And when I go over there, they're like, "You talk it through your nose." I'm like, "Sorry."
So my
The-
French teacher was Algerian, so my accent was probably totally wrong.
Ours is probably mine's probably pretty bad still because it was supposed to be Parisian French, but it was coming from a Quebecois teacher, and so it's going to be like this awkward amalgamation where nobody on either side likes it. But whatever, it works. I know enough. I can sit down with like a French newspaper and kind of like work my way through and understand mostly what I'm reading, so that's pretty good.
I'm a
Awesome.
disappointment to all French Canadians because, again, like I said, my mother's side of the family, they're all from Quebec, and my mother was born and raised French Canadian. And I go back to like family affairs, and my French speaking is bad. It's very, very bad. And then, like, they can talk to me, and I can fully understand what they're saying. I just can't reply very well in French. So we went out to this restaurant, and everybody's ordering and doing what they want, and I'm looking at the menu, looking at the waiter, looking at the menu, and I couldn't remember the verb for want because I wanted to say I want a steak. So I'm like, look at the menu, look at the waiter, look at the menu, look at the waiter. Everybody's now staring at me. I'm like,
You can
Je
always
want-
try and.
je want
want-
un beefsteak.
Je-
Je want un beefsteak.
The highlight of my French speaking, I think, was when I was on a school field trip or something to Quebec, and we stopped at a McDonald's, getting the real experience here. And when it came up to the cashier, I just did my whole order like fluently, well, reasonably fluent. And I did the whole transaction in French. It was just kind of cool. And like when I turned around, like the rest of my class was like, "What the hell?" Yeah, it was kind of fun. Like, je vais prendre un numéro 7, s'il vous plaît. Which my accent's going to be terrible at this point because I haven't used this in years. But like, I'll take a number 7, please. It's McDonald's. This isn't exactly high class, but I was super proud of that moment.
Sweet. So when they actually do have the Eve Paris, which I would look forward to, you should go and help
I
me
wanna
out.
go, yeah.
I don't know how much use I'm going to be, but we'll see.
Okay, guys, we have been going for almost 2 hours, which is phenomenal. And again, poor CCP Aurora, I do not want to keep you up late. So we're gonna raid somebody. We're gonna wrap it up. And who are we raiding, Mal? Let's raid.
I picked 3 Foot Ninja because I'm looking and they have the lowest amount of viewers for playing
let's-
EVE Online.
Let's go raid 3 Foot Ninja.
Yeah.
So again, CCP Aurora, thank you so much for coming out at this ridiculous time for you to talk utter nonsense with us and the squirreling that occurs on our show when we just off on other random topics because
It wasn't too bad
it's
this
me.
time.
It's me.
We're also gonna end with a dance party again.
Dance party, yes. Dance
Okay,
party.
I'm gonna get there right now.
We get to hear the music this time though.
I'm doing it.
Okay.
I mean,
Dance party. Well, like some like techno-y whoop whoop stuff. Like, come on.
Redline, can you do, because I can't raid.
Thank you to everybody who came out to watch us again.
Thank you, Rain.
White girl dance. Yeah, Aurora. Woo!
Yeah.